Hello folks and welcome to another video. Today's topic is going to be on the immigration, as you can tell from the background image. Well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to cut to the chase and start talking about this. I don't want to extend this video unnecessarily. So what I want to focus is this. This week is the second week of the Trump administration, which is going full force for the mass deportation, as Trump himself has been promising to American people during his election campaigns. So they started full force with the ICE, Immigration Custom Enforcement, and Border Patrol, and with the assistance and help of the National Guard, and also Trump decided to deputize all the federal agents and law enforcement officers in order to help and assist the process of finding, locating, arresting, and deporting all the illegal immigrants. As you know, the official number is 11 million. They determine illegal immigrants, and all of them is to be deported. So, hence the term he was saying, the largest mass deportation ever witnessed in the U.S. history, and there is a reason for that. He says the largest mass deportation because this was what happened during the last administration, Biden administration, the last 4 years between 2020 and 2024. The amount of immigration has been the largest by all means. By far, it was the largest. Um, Although official numbers are indicating 11 million people to be deported, I believe it's a whole lot more. What happened was, actually, let's focus on that. What happened actually was not the normal, natural uh, immigration process. As we all know, everybody knows that we're all immigrants. I'm myself an immigrant. This is a nation of immigrants. And immigrants, this nation was built on the back of the immigrants. So, what is the problem? The problem is uncontrolled, illegal, and weaponized. The key term here is, the operative term here is weaponized immigration. The Biden administration weaponized this immigration to flood the nation with as many millions of illegal immigrants as possible. And they had one agenda, one and only agenda. That was to create the base, that's the voting base, to create and establish a voting base to secure, going forward, all these elections going forward, to secure a successful status, guaranteed status in the political arena of the U.S. history. But what happened was, up until about a year ago, public American people started seeing this ugly game. Up until that time again, they were every day, time and again, countless times, were lying and lying through their teeth, like what was his name, the Mallorca. He was telling American people every day, looking into their eyes and saying the border is safe, border is secure, there is no problem with border. We are just fine with that. We made sure that border has been secured. That's what he was saying. That's how he was lying. Eventually got to the point that it was impossible to hide what was happening, and then, and only then, and also what Trump has been campaigning and very strongly focusing on the immigration, legal immigration problem as his the flagship of his campaign, the election campaign. They decided to take action. I mean, Democrats decided to take action. They made it sound like a bipartisan, and they came up with some more solid steps to reduce the rate of the illegal immigration to this country. This was a trap. This was a strategy, and it wasn't meant for the good of this country. It was only meant to kind of save their asses, save their faces. What they say is Trump basically derailed that project, because they kept saying that, hey, we came up with a very sound and strong system to reduce the amount of illegal immigration. But Trump, on the other hand, whatever we say, we tried so hard, but he is basically derailing it. He is doing this to gain control, to gain advantage, strategic advantage for his election campaign process. Trump knew that that was a trap. Trump knew that. They did that only and only. They didn't do it out of their concern and love for their country. They didn't do it for anything other than the strategic reasons, because they realized that American people, they started seeing the ugly game. That ugly game was, again, I'm going to repeat, was the weaponization of illegal immigration to establish a voting base. Once Americans started seeing this, it got to the point that it wasn't manageable anymore. They weren't able to hide it anymore. And they came up with that. Again, Trump did not fall in that trap, and they completely, squarely rejected to work with them. And I'm glad, thank God, I'm glad to see that he did not work with them. And again, that immigration issue was the flagship issue of his entire campaign. And then we all know, November 5th, got the election, landslide success with approximately 4 to 5 million more popular votes. And that huge difference was primarily due to the people who are sick and tired of seeing the weaponization of immigration and flooding this nation with those millions upon millions upon millions of people who were basically crossing the southern border without being subject to any kind of vetting, any kind of controlling process. So what they're saying now, liberals and Democrats, is now they're making lots of noise, as we were expecting. And let's take a look at their main argument point. Now they're talking about how it's going to hurt the U.S. economy. The mass deportation and its economic impact. And a lot of economists are coming up, and with their versions, with their projects, to be able to kind of quantify the dollar impact on the U.S. economy if all 11 million people get deported. What is the impact? And there are two components to it. First component is total cost of doing the whole operation. The cost of ICE, the cost of Border Patrol, U.S. National Guard, all these detention centers, building a lot more detention centers, all the investigation processes, all these costing obviously huge sums of monies, right? And when we look at it, the total cost, they're approximately estimating $350 billion cost just to kind of administrative costs of performing all these operations by all these law enforcement agents, Border Patrol agents, in arresting, deporting, cost of sending them back, all these things. They estimated for 11 million people as about, give and take, $350 billion. But that's only the smaller component. The bigger component is its larger impact on the U.S. economy, because we all know that a lot of illegal immigrants are working in fields that are normally not desired by many American people. So what are those? Like, for instance, all the roofer jobs, all the heavy construction jobs, cleaning jobs, retail jobs, hospitality industry, all these hotel maids, all these, the agricultural area, all the people, picking up, apples, picking up salads, picking up, oranges. All these people, all these jobs would be going vacant because there are not enough American people to fill up those positions. That's a reality. I know that. We all know that. And the reason why those people are doing this and contributing to the U.S. economy is because they're not paying them the living wages that normally a normal American citizen would be willing to work at. So hence, they're coming here, they're paying them, less than half the wages, but they're happy because they can, send the, money back to their country. It's worth more, and most of them are coming from extreme poverty. So there is a different way of looking those amounts. Excuse me. And now look at the arguments that liberals are bringing. They're bringing the argument that these people, you're mass deporting, you're doing this, you should not be doing this, and they're saying a lot of things as if they are really and truly and absolutely concerned out of the goodness of their hearts. They're concerned with these immigrants. No, the argument they're bringing is these people, these illegal people, are basically filling out the positions that are so shitty that non-regular American folks are not being interested, they're not applying for. What they are saying is these so-called liberals, what they're saying is actually a flat racism. What they're saying is basically these people are not good for anything other than filling up those positions, those shitty positions. They're not good. They're not any better than, cleaning up our shit. That's what they're saying. And what is it? What is the role they're depicting? The humanist, the concern, right? They're trying to protect the rights of those poor illegal immigrants coming to this country to better their lives. And yet, their argument, their excuse to say the way they criticize it, they're basing their arguments on this fact, and they're using this to justify their point of view. This is nothing but straight racism. And yet, they're doing everything to cover it up with their typical liberal scripts. Folks, I want to tell you, I remember a saying from one of the greatest presidents, Theodore Roosevelt. What he said was, to make a conservative Republican angry, tell him a lie. To make a liberal angry, tell him the truth. Because liberals can never ever handle the truth. And once they're faced with the truth, what they do is they resort to any kind of methodology and technique to manipulate everything to be able to distort and twist the truth. Because their mindset is twisted and distorted. That's why this is the mass deportation, the largest that U.S. history ever witnessed, and that will be. We have 4 years. And I believe Trump administration is going full force, like I said, with all the institutions under his control. That is the U.S. military, the National Guard, the ICE agents, the federal law enforcement agents, local law enforcement agents, Border Patrol, whatever it takes. They will not stop. They will find these individuals, illegals. And as you know, they first started with 800,000 illegals with criminal records. And those criminal records are serious criminal records. So many of them are like a murder, rape, burglary, assault of first, second, or third degrees. Those kinds of, we're talking about, crimes. By the way, technically, all 11 million of them are criminal. As Tom Homan repeatedly says, and I believe he will keep saying that, a person who crossed the border illegally without the proper vetting, without being subject to proper controls, without having any kind of proper visa status, that person already committed a crime. So therefore, all illegals are subject to this. Obviously, the ones not currently standing with the asylum applications, and the court date is given at some future date, their situation is not as clear-cut. They still have, I think, unless some of them, because we know that there are about 30,000 of them within the first week of Trump administration got canceled. So that's another fact. And they, just repeating here, the day one Trump administration stopped taking any kind of asylum applications from the south of the border and reactivated stay in Mexico, remain in Mexico, and they stopped the catch and release. So all these things and any other kind of suite of measures similar to those are now in effect. Again, my point was to attack the arguments that liberals are, coming up with, and it's not only weak, but extremely, unsincere. There is nothing sincere. There is no sincerity in it. In fact, it is very sinister. It is only, I would say, it's a shame to hear this. It is a shame to come up with this kind of argument. And it is disgusting to see this kind of hypocrisy from liberal Democrats, that they're playing the role of so-called humanitarian while they're using arguments that is actually nothing but a flat-out racist. That's the point I was trying to make on this video. Thank you for watching my video. Talk to you later. Take care.